Alright, welcome everybody to Lo-Fi Crypto. This is a channel where we look at decentralized crypto projects, and basically what we're trying to do is we're trying to understand them, and we want to try to understand what it is exactly they're trying to achieve. Don't forget guys that we're always on a search for different crypto projects, so if you guys have anything in mind that you'd like us to take a look at, please let us know in the comment section below, and also let us know what it is exactly about these projects that you find interesting. So today we got an interesting one for you. For me, this is unlike any other project that I've looked at before. It's called EthereansOS, or Ethos for short. Yeah, so basically what we're going to do is give a brief overview of the EthereansOS. Basically this consists of DFOHub. The ticker symbol and the governance token for that is $BUIDL. That's BUIDL, which is basically like a development platform for decentralized flexible organizations, which is something that we'll get into. The second one is Covenants, which is their ticker symbol is $UNIFI, UNIFI. They're basically an on-chain multi-purpose AMM aggregator. Is that correct?
Yep.
Yeah.
What that is.
And then finally, the third one that we'll take a look at is Items, and their ticker symbol is $ARTE, ARTE. And they're basically a platform for building items, which is something similar to NFTs, but they've got a lot more benefits to them, and we'll take a look at that at a later stage. So I think here it's important to describe what decentralized flexible organizations are, or it might be a good idea to explain the flexible aspect of a DFO.
So when projects put their code on the blockchain, it's permanent, right? So it can't change. So what these guys have come up with is a way to make the code fully on chain, and yet it's still flexible.
Right, so does that mean you can edit the code?
Yes, subject to a vote, yes.
Right. And I think with Bitcoin, etc., they're not flexible, so you can't edit that code.
Yeah, Bitcoin isn't flexible. I guess when they want to edit the code, they have to do a hard fork.
Right, okay. So what are some of the advantages of a project being flexible in that aspect?
Well, if there's a bug in the code, it can be fixed.
Right.
Or if somebody finds an exploit,
Yeah.
it can be stopped before it becomes too large of an issue.
Right, but just recently, was it YFI that had a? Is that correct?
Cover had a flaw in their staking and minting situation. So,
right.
So I think all someone had to do to get more cover was to stake and unstake, and then they got extra. But it was like a minute amount, so nobody noticed. But then I guess somebody did notice, and then was using like flash loans and stuff like that to create millions of cover when there was only supposed to be like 100,000 in existence.
Right. So have they fixed that problem?
Yeah, they had to do a fork.
A fork?
Yeah, they fixed it. They had to do a token swap.
Right, a token swap, yeah.
Because
so when something's
everything
flexible,
was broken with the other one, yeah.
Right, so when something's flexible, there's no need for a token swap.
No, because you can fix it.
Right.
In the code.
So that's one of the obvious benefits. I think it's important to explain that this project at the moment, the whole EthereansOS ecosystem, they're still in their research and development stage, or beta stage. So it might be the case that some of the actual names of the three projects that we're going into, that's DFOHub, Covenants, and Items, those names may change in due time. But I suppose we'll be doing another video on it soon, so yeah, hopefully we'll keep you guys up to date.
Yeah.
So the other thing is I think developers have stated that there's an upcoming 0.5 release, which this is when they'll start, I guess, actively promoting this project.
Yeah, I think that's in this end of the second quarter this year.
Right.
And then I think they're going to they'll start actively promoting the project and trying to onboard other projects and
and
advertising and stuff.
By promoting the project, right? I don't think it's going to be like other crypto projects where they start marketing the project, right? I think what they're going to do is try pull more developers and get them to start creating their projects as DFOs. Is that correct?
Yeah, I guess you can approach other projects and be like, hey, look at this this flexible. So, for example, like Telor, for example.
Right. What's Telor?
Telor is a fully decentralized price oracle.
Right.
So somewhat like Link, but I think Link does a bit more. This is just a price oracle.
Okay.
So all their code is on chain and completely unflexible. They had some mistake where they messed up the contract for the token. So the transfer function was broken in some way and nobody could move any of their coins at all.
Right.
So it was all just stuck. So then they had to do a token swap.
Right.
To fix that. And I guess they had to change some of the contracts or something. But yeah, so if you marketed it to them, you could just say, well, you wouldn't have had to have done that. You could have just fixed it.
Right.
Right. And that also cost them and other people gas fees, and they also had to give some people they had to make some people right because they also lost some Ether and liquidity pools and stuff like that.
Okay.
But yeah, so if you promote it to these lot as you wouldn't have to go through all that hassle if it's flexible.
So this gives a brief explanation of what the entire ecosystem is and what they're trying to accomplish. So over here you can see equities. That's the different governance tokens like BUIDL or UNIFI or ARTE. So from my understanding, those are on-chain organizations, right? And these are on-chain organizations. They're governed by these tokens, by these equities.
Yeah, directly. So things can only change on them subject to a vote by the holders of the governance tokens.
Yes. So
which is
if they ever wanted to edit
it,
yeah. Okay, so here we've got their dApps, and my understanding is that these on-chain organizations can use platforms, for example, like DFOHub, to create these dApps, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it says here, vote to execute code permissions. So my understanding is that if anybody wanted to alter the code of this dApp, instead of creating a whole new fork, or instead of doing a token swap or something, they can use the governance tokens as votes to execute these code changes.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So all of these governance tokens, they're actually items, or they will be items with the 0.5 release.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Which is, again, it's like a more complex type of NFT. I think an ETH item it's like a fusion of ERC20s, 721s and ERC1155s.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any organization which is created in this ecosystem, their governance tokens will be an item. Okay, so yeah, I'm just trying to understand this because it's quite a complex project. Yeah, so why don't you explain the covenant section over here?
So covenants is a on-chain API, so just a set of functions that allows for other dApps to interact more easily or to integrate the DeFi ecosystem more easily with their own projects. That's pretty much what it is.
Right, so by the current DeFi ecosystem, they're all using ERC20 standard.
Yeah, I think a lot. It's rapidly changing.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's basically a brief overview of what this ecosystem is. So let's take a look at the first project, DFOHub. So basically, this is their. Let me go back here. This is the main homepage when you go to EthereansOS.eth.link, right? And you can see they've got organizations over here. They've got Biddleberg was their recent what was it, developer conference, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, you got the various documentations on that side. Yeah, what's Nerve?
I think Nerve is the DFO responsible for holding all of the funds of the 3 main projects.
Right, all the governance tokens.
All the funds. So I think it's some of the government's tokens that haven't been released into circulation. I think they've got some Ethereum in there.
Right.
Some other stuff. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, here you can see the items, which is what we're going to talk about as well. Covenants, obviously, that we're going to talk about. And Where is My Dragon? Is that why don't you explain what that is?
So Where is My Dragon is I guess like an NFT based card game. It's a bit of a treasure hunt.
Right.
I think it's designed to bring in programmers to the project, and while they're trying to solve the puzzle of this game, they're learning all of the different things that that items can do, basically.
Right. Okay. All right, so let's take a look at DFOHub then. So I think let's take a look at the CoinGecko for DFOHub. Their market cap is only 15 million at the moment. That's pretty low market cap, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Rank is 783 on CoinGecko.
Mm-hmm.
And I wouldn't be surprised, by the way, if this goes up onto the top 300 at least.
I wouldn't be surprised if it made top 100, to be honest.
Yeah. But their circulating supply, there's a total of 3.3 million. 3.1 million is the current circulating supply.
Mm-hmm.
So anyways, let's take a look. So if you click organizations, this is going to take you to basically the explanation of what DFOHub is, right? And you can see here, that's the dApp for DFOHub. So we can just click this. And you got to be on a Web3 enabled browser to connect to this dApp. So here are all the projects which are currently DFOs, which have been created on this hub. People are actively building on this platform. So yeah, if you click, that's the dApp. If you click, there's more information on what DFOHub is. If you go to dfohub.com, you can also access the dApp from there as well. But it's actually useful reading through all this if you want to get a deeper understanding of what it is exactly they're trying to achieve. Yeah, there's basically a lot of information over here. If you scroll down, there's a lot of information about what the project currently is, and the direction which they will eventually take it to once they've passed the research and development stage. Some of the things I thought was quite interesting on this page here is basically, from my understanding, so DFOHub, it is a decentralized, flexible organization, and it allows developers to create their own DFOs or dApps. One of the interesting things here is this, and that it functions as a replacement for GitHub, because people can interact with each other and create these projects on DFOHub rather than GitHub. And the reason why this is extremely interesting is because GitHub is a centralized organization, and I think they're owned by Microsoft, aren't they?
Yeah.
Right. So if the reason why this is interesting is because, what if Microsoft wanted to censor a project which they don't like, right? Or what if a country decided that, and I think this has happened in China, where they actually banned GitHub for a short period of time. I don't know what the reason is, but I remember reading that somewhere.
Yeah.
So something centralized like that can be subject to censorship.
Yeah.
But so DFOHub, am I correct in saying that is that can't be censored because it's on Web3?
Yeah, I think so.
So basically the BUIDL governance token for DFOHub, that's obviously a governance token, but on this page it mentions that it's a programmable equity. Do you know what that means?
I think all that means is you can have all the metadata on there.
Right.
And you
why?
can
Yeah, go on.
amend the metadata.
Okay.
But
And
maybe
why?
that means more as well. I'm not sure. Like maybe, yeah, I don't know. Maybe it means more as well. I'm not sure.
Right. So basically, and why would you need a governance token for something like DFOHub?
So you have to have a governance token in order to change. If you want flexible code, you don't want anyone to just be able to change the code willy-nilly, right?
Right.
You need some level of protection, and the level of protection is that you have a community of people who are holding the tokens, and then when you want to change the code, it has to be voted on by the community.
Okay. And like we said earlier, with the upcoming release, DFOHub will change to Ethereum Computational Organizations, ECOs. Yeah, so like I said, if you go through this page over here, there's a lot of information, which is quite valuable. We'll let you guys do your own research. Why don't we take a look at items then?
So ETH items is a platform for building items.
Okay.
Items is a new token standard that combines all of the functionality of ERC20s, ERC721, and ERC1155s.
Yeah.
And then because you're combining all of the functionality of all of this,
yeah,
you can essentially have ERC tokens that do the job of an ERC20,
right,
but have the benefit of being able to hold a certain amount of data like a 721 does. So you can have metadata on chain. So currently under the ERC20 standard, it can be given a name, ticker symbol, you pick the number of decimals, and the
right.
total token supply.
Okay.
Right? But under the ETH item standard, you would be able to have all kinds of additional metadata. Like you could have the website in there, you could have the logo, the file for the logo actually be part of the token standard.
Okay.
You could even do stuff like you could have a description of the project with diagrams and stuff.
Right.
It allows for a lot more metadata on chain. So with something like MetaMask, for example, when you buy a new token, it doesn't have a logo.
What
right?
do you mean?
If you add a custom token on MetaMask, it doesn't always have a logo.
Oh, right. Yeah.
That's because it's not yet on CoinGecko or whatever repository MetaMask is using to pull that data.
Okay, right.
To pull that metadata. But with this, all the metadata can be on-chain, so the projects can put their logo on-chain in a standardized place where everyone can pull it from.
Right.
Even a description and all the information they would want.
Right. It's interesting because they don't need a centralized storage to save that information, do they?
Exactly.
Because it's on-chain.
So everything could run much more seamlessly.
Yeah, completely on-chain. Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
So they've also built this item standard to be backwards compatible.
Okay.
Which means that it can interact with contracts built for any of the older standards, ERC20, 721, 1155.
Right.
So you can have items that you're using as an NFT, but it can work with contracts for ERC20, or items that you're using that you would normally have built with an ERC20 that can interact with contracts built for NFTs, and all just interchangeable, all seamless, and that's all working at the moment. That's all finished, I think.
Okay.
So, and they've also built it so that other older token standards, ERC20, 721, 1155, can be forwards compatible. You can wrap them into the item standard.
Oh, right. Okay.
But then once you do that, I don't think if you wrap an ERC20 into the item standard, I don't think it can then. I'm not sure. I don't think it can necessarily take on all the additional benefits of a 721. Like, it can't have all the extra metadata.
Right.
So only things which are built natively to the ETH item standard would have all of the benefits, right? And because the item standard itself is built with this whole flexible concept in mind, it can be updated. So if any new innovations come along with a new token standard that does something different, then that functionality can be added to the item standard, and then everything built on the item standard now has that functionality. So this is almost the final token standard.
Right. Yeah, because they can always take advantage of any new innovation.
And then all of the existing projects automatically have that new functionality in there.
Right. And they just going back here just quickly. Don't forget that this entire ecosystem, right? They're gonna share this super token standard as a security layer. So do you want to take a look at covenants?
Yeah, let's move on to covenants.
So covenants is the last one.
Okay, so covenants, or UNIFI, is a general purpose platform for building anything and everything DeFi.
Right.
So currently, that consists of an on-chain general purpose AMM API.
Okay. What's an API?
So I guess when programmers want to interact with another program, either they'd have to code out all of the code themselves, or they would have to reference a pre-existing set of code which has already done this. So it's kind of a way to make it easier for one program to interact with another, or for people to build programs to interact with another program.
Okay.
So the Ethos team have used this API to create an on-chain AMM aggregator.
Right. So that's something like 1inch, right? What's the difference between covenants or UNIFI as it used to be known? What's the difference between that and 1inch?
So 1inch is an AMM aggregator, but it's not all on-chain.
Why?
I think they just deal with it all on the front end. It's just a price comparison. I guess it's like a price comparison website, and it's just they just deal with it all in the front end. It's not being dealt with in the back end. So, for example, if one of the Yearn Vault's strategies wanted to trade from one thing to another and wanted to get the best price, I don't think they could do that using 1inch because it's not on chain. But they could do it with this because everything's on chain.
Okay, right.
Yeah.
So, and also 1inch, if they're not completely on chain, does that mean there's a company behind 1inch?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
Right.
I haven't looked into that, but I assume so, yes.
Right. I think Binance were a big funder for 1inch, weren't they?
Were they?
I think so. I could be wrong on that. But
Okay.
it might be something to do a little bit of research on.
Yeah.
And that's not a good thing. Yeah, so what's next?
Right. So another thing that that is under the covenants.
Yeah.
Under the covenants umbrella.
Right.
Is wrapped USD or WUSD.
Right.
Which is, so you've got all of these different versions of the dollar currently on the blockchain, right? You've got USDT, USDC,
Yeah.
DAI,
Stable coins, right?
Yeah, stable coins that are pegged to the dollar. You've got a whole bunch of different ones.
Right.
And I'm sure we're going to get a whole bunch more.
Yeah.
But so wrapped USD is, I guess it's almost the last one you'd ever need. So it's just a way for all of the other the crypto USD coins to come under one umbrella.
Okay.
Right.
So
and then,
by that you
also,
yeah.
Go on.
So by that you mean it's, so to say it simply, it's a stable coin based on many other stable coins.
Yes.
Which essentially makes it a very safe stable coin, just in case something happens to one of them, because it's based on, like, say 5 or 6 different stable coins.
Yeah. Exactly.
It's backed up by the other ones as well.
Yeah, so it's a lot less risky. I mean, nobody trusts USDT, for example.
Yeah.
I don't even think they've necessarily included USDT in their list.
Right.
Because people generally don't trust it.
Right.
Yeah. But the list can always be, because it's flexible, the list can always be updated to include more new ones that come out, or remove some that is no longer trusted, you know.
Right. And so is this an item as well?
Yeah, this is also an item.
Right, okay.
Yeah. So they've also got an item index generator. So anyone can create an index of NFTs and ERC20s and 1155s and items and whatever they want. They can create indexes, which I don't think any other project's done that, where anyone can create an index now. So, and then also, because they're building this platform so that people can create, to make it easier for everyone to create DeFi on top of,
right,
or using this as the base layer or something. They've also got general purpose mining contracts, and then it takes 2 forms: free farming and locked farming. And that, I guess people can look that up, but that's not that complicated.
Right. And sorry, just to go back a little bit, on the wrapped USD, it says on this page that that they are the only stable coin which you can farm.
Yeah, so I think technically WUSD is backed by liquidity tokens, which you can see there.
Right.
And it will be pairs of things like USDC and DAI, or USDC and USDB, or any 2 stable coins on any of the automated market makers.
Right.
And then what that means is, because they're liquidity tokens, there's a certain amount of yield to those liquidity tokens.
Right.
So I think you're always gonna end up with a bit more. It's always gonna be backed by a bit more than the face value, let's say.
Okay.
So then I think that's where they're getting the yield from, to be able to farm. So then they can create a few more tokens every once in a while, because they're getting all this yield from the different liquidity pools. So then if you provide liquidity of wrapped USD and DAI, for example, then you'll get some yield.
Right.
And last I checked, it was like 400% yield, which is insane.
Yeah, it's pretty high.
Yeah.
What's next?
So so there's general purpose liquidity crafting, which is something new that these lot have created, which I think is a way to do providing asymmetric liquidity providing. So normally you have to provide 50% of token A and 50% of token B. But
Right.
these guys have created something where you could just provide 100% of one side of the
Yes.
of
Or
the
one
liquidity
token.
pool,
Right.
and then that can partner you up with someone who's looking to provide 100% of the other side. Or if you
Yeah.
want to have 20% of this and 80% of that, then it'll
Right.
find someone who has 80% of this and 20% of
Yeah.
that.
That's interesting because sometimes people don't want to put up the Ethereum when it comes to staking.
Yeah.
You know.
Or if you think something's going to pump, and you
Right.
only put in the Ethereum,
Right.
you'll end up with a lot more Ethereum. So I guess it provides a new instrument for decentralized finance to use.
Right.
There's a lot under covenants.
Right. So just to wrap this up, I think one of the amazing things about this whole project, and it's just worth to say that if you just go to the CoinGecko, you'll basically find there all of these websites which are useful, especially their Medium articles.
Yeah.
And these articles are written by the core team. I don't know if their Discord is over here. That's also a very useful place to go if you want to find out updates on the development that's going on behind the scenes.
Mm-hmm.
It says here you can also look at the progress on their GitHub, but I guess that will change once once they actually start using DFOHub as a primary place where they can.
I think with update 0.5, which is in the second quarter of 2021,
right.
I think that everything will move to being on chain by that point.
Right. And there's some explainers here as well, isn't there?
Sorry?
There's some explainers on the GitHub as well. There's more information there for people.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And basically this project is extremely interesting because one of the things I like about them is they remind me very much of they're very cyberpunk-esque.
Yeah.
Right. And they don't throw that much weight on marketing or doing collaborations with different projects. This is all about BUIDLing, or
Yeah, they're still in the R&D stage, so they don't want to get distracted by all of that other stuff.
Right, but you see a lot of other projects who are
coming though.
You do see a lot of other projects who are still developing in the development stage, and they're marketing like mad. They're doing projects, they're doing collaborations with other projects.
Yeah,
and then in the end,
that thing's even ready.
Right, exactly. And then sometimes when you follow up these projects, it's like not much has or maybe it has been completed, but the community aren't using it for the purposes it was created for.
No. Yeah.
So anyway, this will be an interesting one to keep our eyes on. And if anybody else also knows anything that we've left out, do let us know in the comment section, because this is a project which we really do like to keep updated on.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's it for today. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and like I said, do let us know of any other interesting crypto projects that we can take a look at, and let us know also why they're appealing to you, what aspects of it make it interesting, and we'll see you for the next video.
Thanks for watching.